Send me raw wood, and I will give you back arrows. This is a famous phrase of John Calvin. This means that in his Bible schools in Geneva, he would train people from all over Europe to become missionaries for Christ in their own countries. Similar concept can be found, not exactly the same, in Psalm 127, verse 3 and 4. Lo, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of the mighty man, so are children of the youth. This has been my experience at the Weimar Institute for 4.5 years. When I first came to Weimar Institute in August 2014, I did not have much knowledge about the Bible. I grew up in a non-religious family in Japan and came to the United States for college education. At first, I was going to one of the community colleges in Bay Area and planning to transfer to one of the UC schools in order to study philosophy. My purpose of studying philosophy was to define my life, find the purpose of my life, and to determine what I would like to do in the future. But this plan was changed when my next door neighbor in San Jose invited me to the Mountain View Japanese Seventh Adventist Church, which I am being a Bible worker for right now. As I started to study the Bible, all the questions that I had in my life were answered. Therefore, I thought I did not have to study philosophy anymore. Because I think the best philosophy, if I put it this way, can be found in the Bible, right? Then I told one of the pastors in Mountain View Japanese Seventh Adventist Church that I was looking for a SDA institutions to study theology. Then he suggested me 3 institutions: Andrews University, Southern Adventist University, and Weimar Institute. Of those 3, he encouraged me to go to Weimar Institute because he told me that it's more family-like, it's much smaller than other universities, so everyone knows each other. So I decided to come over here for visitation. When I visited here, that was March 2014. When I visited here for the first time, I saw the difference from other universities. Like the pastor said, the campus was more like a village than a typical crowded college campus. Everybody knew each other. Teachers and students put God first above anything. Because I was looking for something different from typical education in the world, I decided to come to Weimar Institute. Even though I was convicted to apply for Weimar Institute, I was still not sure about when to come. Maybe after I finish community college. Maybe after I finish 1 more quarter in the community college. But I was impressed to apply immediately for fall 2014. So I visited here again in July 2014. This time it was actually a few days before I was baptized in Monterey Bay Ocean. I chose that location because Jesus was baptized in the river, so I thought it would be nice if I got baptized in nature. Then I became sure that I should come here for 2014. And I was still skeptical about how I would be accepted on time, as the semester would begin within 1 month. But God opened the door for me, and I was able to make it for fall 2014 after all the paperwork was submitted, and I received the acceptance letter. I was very excited to study the Bible as I started life at Weimar, but soon I went through trials. I realized that I was one of the few students who did not know much about the Bible. While everyone could draw some important lessons from the Bible stories, I was not even familiar with those stories. I also had a hard time reading writings of Ellen G. White. Because her English is a little bit archaic, I encountered many unfamiliar words, which made it hard for me to understand what she meant. I still remember that I was failing Life and Teaching of Christ in my very first semester. When the instructor, back then Pastor Rich Konstantinescu, he was an instructor of LTJ. He realized I was struggling with this class, and he took a walk with me and gave me a word of encouragement. Since then, my grades started to improve little by little, and it finally became A. But not only that, I was also able to understand how God cared about me through my instructor, Pastor Rich Constantinescu, and also the chapters I read from the Desire of Ages, how Jesus reached out to people who were neglected in the society back then. Over the 4.5 years, God has given me knowledge and wisdom day by day. What I really appreciate Weimar Institute for as I spent 4.5 years is that fact that there are some opportunities for theology students to learn about health and medical missionary. I had a chance to shadow Pastor Don in depression and anxiety recovery program. And one thing I learned from this program was that reason for depression is usually, not always, but usually related to relational issues. What I mean by that is it's usually something has to do with those who are around you, maybe family, maybe friends. Since sin entered into this world, we're no longer bearing the image of God perfectly, and it had become hard for us to have good relationship with each other. But I think the solution is to look at Christ. When you look at Christ, we try to bear his image, and our relationship with others can get better as well. Lastly, I would like to express gratitude to all of you who had helped me to come closer to Christ. And I would like to encourage all of you to think of how you can help fellow brothers and sisters to know Christ more.